What is up, Earthlings? Zube here. If you are interested in a personal reading, my information is down below. I do tarot or astrology. So I want to start doing these things, and I'm taking a cue from Kyle Cease, right? I'm pinching his idea, but he's super fucking cool, and I don't think he's going to care. I'm going to link to him below in the comments. He's doing 100 days of 1 hour meditations. And I decided 4 days ago that I would do that as well. I'm not even sure when he started, but anyway, so I'm on day 4 of meditating for an hour, and I'm going to do these like meditation ruminations. And I want to start this off by saying that, I'm calling it meditation, but that's just what I'm calling it. Like, I think that word really intimidates people. And I want to say that I believe some weird shit. And I believe that we're evolving, right? And I believe that integral, like fucking super tremendously, muchly important to this evolution process is that we take time outs. Okay. And I am aware, I do readings and stuff like that. So if I don't meditate, that's like part of my work. If I don't meditate, I can't do what I'm doing, because everything gets all fucked up in the head. Like I went to Jersey to visit my family, and it was amazing, but it was the first time in like over 4 years that I let my meditation practice go a little bit. And when I got out of rehab, in addition to starting 1 minute meditations, I started meditating for 1 minute, because I knew I had to dip my toe in and proceed slowly. I came out also on like 5 medications, Abilify. I can't even remember the names now. It was a lot of them. Prozac, Abilify, and a bunch of other shit for anxiety and depression and obsessive thoughts and suicidal ideation and all that. Anyway, after a little more than a year and with my meditation practice, I was able to come off of all of them, right? And that is not being said to make anybody who is on medication or anything like that feel bad, or I'm not dogging medication itself, because sometimes people get fussy about that. But anyway, and when I went home on this trip to Jersey, because I didn't have the time to meditate, I was like, oh, wow, my head is just super messy. But I recognized it right away. Like it wasn't anything dangerous or anything, but I was like, oh my God, my head was spinning. And I feel like that's going to start happening to a lot of people, because things are changing so quickly, and we're moving so fast, and the world is becoming different around us. This chair is pissing me off because it's spinning on its own. Everything is spinning on its own. It's like spinning around us, but we're not like the hapless victim of this, right? Like we can observe it and process it. And so a meditation practice or a prayer practice or a 1 minute timeout practice is going to be super important. And I want to encourage people not to judge that time. Okay. It is a dedicated practice to taking a time out. And on that time out, your brain is going to be thinking about a lot of shit. Okay. That's what happened when I first started meditating. And so I think of it like this analogy. Meditation for me is like taking time out to clean my desk. It's like we're always stuffing information and shit back here. Like think about farmers. I mean, you know, all of the time before all of this technology, which I'm not dogging either, but we used to have a time when our ears were not being fucking assaulted by shit constantly, like literally constantly. And I'm guilty of this as well. I have trouble sleeping when it's quiet, you know, so I put on a sleep mask and I do sleep meditations, but still, it's very rare that even my own ears are like not taking information into my brain. But my meditation time is when I do that. And doing it for an hour, it's funny because, you know, I do 20 minutes a day. I have done 20 minutes a day for a few years now. And always immediately when I sit down, it takes me a few minutes to get into it, right? But I do get to that place where things are quiet. You know, it's not an emptiness even. I do my meditation so different. You guys, I'm like a meditation, like freedom junkie. I do whatever the fuck I want during meditation in here. Okay. And that's okay. Like that's okay for you to do it too. Just don't judge it. But in the beginning, especially, it's like your desk is so full of papers and shit coming up to here that that's going to take some time to file. I mean, it was probably like 6 months of meditating for me before I really felt like I would get to that peaceful like space, or that like space in between the thoughts. I mean, maybe not that long, but where I really started to feel like good meditating. It didn't feel bad, but it always felt good after, because it was a part of my self-care promise that I made to myself. That this was part of my self-care routine and that I needed to take a minute to be quiet, right? And then the next month I made it 2 minutes, and I wouldn't let myself rush ahead or try to add too much. And some people may not need that. I was coming out of rehab. I was on a bunch of, you know, pharmaceuticals and all that. So, you know, you judge for you what is good, but some sort of quiet time so that you can clean your desk in your head. And if the thoughts fly, don't grab onto them, right? And be like, oh, you're such a thought. I don't want you there, and throw it out. That's not what it's about. Just let it pass, let it come, let it go, let the thoughts fight with each other. They're filing themselves, okay? They're integrating. This is how I see it. This is how I feel. You don't have to feel this way either. But just let yourself take a time out. And what I was saying with regard to, this is part of my work. Like I need my head to be clear in order to be able to perform my work. But I am totally cognizant that other people, you know, you have kids, look at me, I went on a vacation. It was the first time I had taken my kids to see my family in like 3 years. I let meditation go, right? And it's, you know, a big part of my life. So I understand that it's difficult. And that's why we need to not criticize it and congratulate ourselves for it when we do it, you know. But when I sat down for the hour meditation daily, because what we're trying to do is we're trying to let our ego know that it works for us, right? Because if we're unconscious about life, we end up working for our ego. We want to show our ego that it works for us. And so when you sit down and meditate, oh, I got to do this email. Oh my gosh, I got to make this phone call. I do that every fucking day. I do that and I sit through it, and then it quiets down because the ego is like, oh shit. All right. She's in charge of me. I'm not in charge of her. And it settles. And then my meditation, usually at about like a minute or two in, comes to a good place. But my ego has been really railing against this 1 hour thing. And so I have that like mind jumping up a lot again and just fighting. And it's the ego wanting to be in control. Like, Okay, so I let you have 20 minutes of meditation a day peacefully, but fuck you, bitch. I'm not doing an hour. I'm in charge here. And I just sat there and I've done it 4 days in a row now. And it's been pretty uncomfortable and pretty skittish and pretty scattered, but I know I'll get to an okay place with that too. And it's disciplining my ego. And it's giving my thoughts time to collate and file and go in the right drawer and shit. And with the hour now, I'm not just looking at my office desk, I'm looking at the office closet that I haven't cleaned for a while. And I was thinking about fucking going to confession when I was 9 years old, and mortal sin and venial sin and the recovering Catholic thing. I had all kinds of thoughts and I was like, holy shit, I'm 8 again. And it's so important. I feel amazing. I feel much better now. Although don't give yourself that expectation, because as things pop up that we've been stuffing like more information in our brains to avoid, there can be uncomfortable moments even after meditation, but it is such a useful practice. And I really do think that moving forward, as we evolve, we're ass end, clothed, probably. It's going to be necessary. Anyway, I hope you're having a great day on earth. Take a time out. Peace. Namaste. Love ya.